Hello everyone, my name is Tom, I'm the Sugma male, and you're watching the Late Night Sugma program here on Twitch.tv, live from Detroit, Michigan, as close as we can get officially. Obama should have been elected for a third term, and he should have done 9/11 too. I just said that. Ban me, Twitch. Alright, we're off to a wild start this week. Welcome back. And first of all, we need to address the elephant in the room. Am I good? I'm always good. I'm great. I'm doing amazing. Alright, so first of all, we gotta address the elephant in the room. I was looking at my hair recently, and I was like, you know what? I'm not exactly happy with how it looks. I'm not exactly happy with, where it's at. So I gotta do something, Am I going to, Alright. I was basically like, am I gonna cut it? Am I gonna do a proper haircut? Am I gonna keep trying to grow it out, see what happens? Or am I gonna shave it off? And to be honest, I mainly did this just to kind of feel out the room, see what people thought, and the overall consensus was that people did not want me to shave my head. And ultimately what this served as was a lesson for all of you. To understand, y'all can't control what I do with my life. Do I look like Ice Poseidon to you? I'm not at the mercy of the internet. I'm not at the mercy of anyone. I am God here. This is my show. This is my show. So y'all think that y'all can control me, telling me not to shave my head? Well, guess what? I went ahead and did it anyways. Fighting against the system being peer pressure, and the social media machine that I'm no longer a slave to. As you can see, I have shed my chains being my hair. I'm free. I am free from the thought police. No more 1969 George W. Bush in here. I'm a free thinker. Free to do my own research. Anyways, let's get into what we're doing this week. What do I got on the agenda? The opening monologue, I guess that's kind of what that was. I'm bald. You can't control me. Bald rights. Mina Day was this week. It's technically Mina week because of that. Mina is a bald rights activist. Praise be the one, the only, of one true nine and all nine. But it's Mina week. So, that's what we're doing. So, of course, what we got on the show, we're going to be talking about some social justice. We're going to be talking about some wrestling, because I decided that's what we're going to do. We don't actually have any animation this week. So, I don't know. I guess people are going to be like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Fuck you, you piece of shit. We don't want to hear what you have to say about anything unless it's 2D animated. And then we also have SkywardWing on later. Friend of the show, Twitch partner, and of course, tonight we'll also have the announcement of a major A-list guest for next week. Y'all ain't gonna believe who it is. Y'all are gonna be like, bro, you're trolling. When I announce it, but listen, it's legitimate. It is legitimate. Don't make me leak the DMs. It's happening. It's happening. And I'm not going to say who it is quite yet. However, listen, it's happening. It's happening. And this suit jacket still does not fit me. It still does not fit me. Anyways, let's get into the first story. What is the first story that we have on the docket? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Before we get into that. Ashitaka was a freak. Ashitaka was like, yo, I can smell this girl from across the land. I'm gonna get cursed by a demon. Purely with the intention to go and see what that smell is. That stank. He was smelling her from all the... Because, bro, listen. You find a girl in the woods, she don't shower, she don't got running water, she don't know what soap is. I'm sorry. The whole love at first sight... At that point, I gotta assume it's not love at first sight, it's love at first smell. I'm sorry. Am I reading too much into this, or am I right? I'm always right. Of course I'm right. That's why y'all are watching. Because y'all know I'm right. Jeff Foxworthy. It's the hormones, bro. It's the pheromones. She got those wolf pheromones. Also, I see first-time viewers in here. I love to see that. So, this week, Jeff Foxworthy. Alright? Alright, we're only about 10 minutes in. But I guess it's good that this is happening before we get into the first thing. We got... It's time. The bell rang. It's time. We gotta spin the wheel. Let's see what we're doing. What do I gotta do? What do I gotta do? And we are doing... Number 4. What is number 4? Let's see. Number 4. 100... Number 4 is 100 squats. I went running earlier today. This is gonna suck. For me. For y'all, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be good content or not. Hold on, let me just, let me pull up a track appropriate for this. We need to get into the mindset of what we're about to do. Alright. What's good? We have to do 100 squats. Alright. Taking off the suit jacket. Anime moment. Y'all seeing what I got? Alright, let's go. Y'all aren't even gonna be able to tell if I go parallel, I don't think. What am I getting into? We're doing squats. We're doing 100 of them. Alright. Alright, let's go. 5. 10. 15. 16. Wait, I completely lost count. Was that 20? Production is high quality. Awesome. Was that 20? Okay, I'll just do 2 more. We'll say that's 20. Okay, 80 more. $31, $32. Try to get them out as fast as possible so we don't waste time. That's halfway. Holy crap. I ran this morning, so my legs are on fire right now. Okay. 50 more. $40 more. Holy shit. $30 more. $25. $15 left. I can't even hear the music. I need to get in the mindset. I need to get in the mindset. Need to go to the void. 15 more, okay. $5 more. That's one. Why did I put that on there? Okay. I'm so sweaty now. That was one of the ones I was hoping I wouldn't get today. My legs are on fire now. Alright. Now I'm gonna be huffing and puffing for the rest of the show. Stay hydrated, kids. Or not. I don't know how old you all are. Stay hydrated either way. Okay. What are we doing? Holy shit. Bro, why did I put that on there? That was awful for me. I don't know. I don't even know if that was good content, but... So Jeff Foxworthy was in the news. Y'all don't know Jeff Foxworthy. You might know him from Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? A show spoofed on this platform by a man named Mizkif. Surprisingly, I'm not the first person to take ideas from TV and put it on Twitch. Shocking, I know. But Jeff Foxworthy is also known for making comedy. His main calling card is "You Might Be a Redneck" jokes, where he says things like, if you got a pair of truck nuts, you might be a redneck. If you go in the shower and you don't use a washcloth, you might be a redneck. If you have felt sexually attracted to your sister or any other person who is related to you, you might be a redneck. That's Jeff Foxworthy. That's his whole deal. I'm gonna be like this for a while. I'm sorry, everybody. Holy crap, I cannot even feel my legs now. Why am I standing too? This is awful. I'm just gonna be complaining the rest of the show. Alright, anyways. He did a joke on his new Netflix special where he said, I played every sport. And it was weird back then. If you wanted a trophy, you had to finish in first place. And let me tell you, I've finished first many times. I didn't get a trophy, I just got told that I'm bad at sex. Bazinga, blammo, whatever. All the blood from my brain is currently in my lower half. Not that lower half, you sickos. In my quads. Bro, why did I put that? Bro. I wrote this list. Why did I put squats on there? I guess I was like, yeah, no, dude, I used to do like 300 squats back when I was in pro wrestling. 100, that's nothing. That's nothing. Look at me over here. Me and my hubris. Anyways, the main reason I want to bring this up is I think it's actually ridiculous how this is not like a new take. Okay, I need to take this. Alright, y'all are just gonna have to look at me in a tank top for a while. Because it is too hot. Why is it that if you're an old comedian, you don't need to write jokes to get trending? The way you get trending is by saying boomer shit. You say conservative talking points that aren't even, these aren't new. How long have boomer-ass conservatives who are like, this generation ain't as good as my generation. Back in my generation, we used to work at the factory when we were 12 years old. How many times has this school of thought been like, man, all these participation trophies, that by the way, they were the adults when we were all kids. Who's the one who initiated this program of everyone gets a trophy? Because it wasn't me, wasn't millennials, wasn't Gen Z. It was Jeff Foxworthy's generation. But more importantly, why was this trending? He was trending on Twitter. I saw multiple people quote tweeting this exact tweet, being like, "Old man, you're old." And at this point, it's just a publicity thing. I can come out here and say, actually, I can't, because I've become known as a social justice warrior. But say I was a little bit more right leaning, or a little bit more moderate, a little more centrist in my content, I could easily say some old Republican shit and be like, yeah, look at me, time to go trending. I could say something homophobic. I could say something racist about, like, immigration or something. Especially if I get a Netflix special, or if I get a comedy special in general. Just say something about, like, yeah, the Jews run the world or whatever, and I'm just gonna trend. Like, why is it, why can't they, like, here's the thing, too. The main objective of being a comedian is just don't be a hack. Have original material. You're going back to 2010 to get some, like, not even funny talking point to be like, yeah, this is comedy. Bro, Jeff Foxworthy, are you kidding me, bro? I understand that you seem to understand things at a 5th grade level. His show wasn't, are you smarter than a middle schooler? Are you smarter than someone who got their GED? It's, are you smarter than a 5th grader? Do you know what 20 times 7 is? It's 140, by the way, Jeff Foxworthy. You literally got a career by just being like, if you have ever stuck your dick inside of an animal just to see what it'd feel like, you might be a redneck. Like, that's your whole career, bro. Like, I think it's just time to acknowledge that stand-up comedians from the olden days, the standards weren't that high. Because nowadays, I don't have the rest of that sentence, to be honest. Nowadays, I don't know. You watch guys on Twitch do 100 squats and then huff and puff for the next 15 to 20 minutes. That's what comedy is now. It's suffering. But listen, I don't know. I mean, listen. I'm sure that the rest of his special was fine. Actually, I'm not sure about that. But I'd like to believe that. I don't know. I used to think Jeff Foxworthy was funny. But, like, come on. Like, even, like, the Dave Chappelle thing. He just came out and he was like, yeah, I'm a TERF. I don't like trans people. And he got the most relevance that he's had in, like, 5 to 10 years. That was the most relevant Dave Chappelle has been in about a decade. I know for a fact, like, bro, people are gonna forget about this Jeff Foxworthy thing, and, like, honestly, people probably already forgot, and they're just now remembering. Now I brought it up, oh yeah, this did happen 3 days ago. Like, is this really a point we're at in our culture? That, like, all you gotta do to be relevant is just say some, like, outdated, ignorant talking point, and voila, you are now the topic of the week. Honestly, I should do that, bro. What, guys, okay, let's what conservative talking points should I tweet out right now? Should I say something about how we need more security at the border or something? Like, will that get me trending? Or is it the fact that a old man who used to talk about, you know, when guys get together, when they smell things, it's always things that smell bad. I don't even remember what the bit was. I just remember he did a bit where he was like, yeah, women, they like things that smell nice. Guys will smell things that smell bad and be like, hey, Jeff Rowe, come over here and smell this thing. I'm starting to think Jeff Foxworthy wasn't that funny. Like, the highlight of his career was, you know, are you smarter than a 5th grader? Kind of makes me wonder what the highlight of my career is going to be. Not saying I'm more or less funny. than Jeff Foxworthy, but I don't know. All right, what else do we got? What else do we got? Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about wrestling. Not to sacrifice my view count, but we're gonna talk about wrestling real quick. I gotta talk about wrestling for a little bit. This is my quota. Every once in a while, I gotta talk about wrestling. I gotta go off and rant about wrestling. So today what we're talking about is AEW, and just to give a disclaimer, you're probably not gonna see me really criticize WWE on this broadcast because honestly, I just don't care. Like I genuinely do not care what WWE does with their product anymore. Because listen, I've just accepted that WWE, they're like the SNL of wrestling. It doesn't matter. Like they're too big to fail at this point. It doesn't matter if they're bad. They might have some good moments here and there, but ultimately they're just an institution. People want to be a part of it just to say they're a part of it. In reality, the quality doesn't matter anymore. Like nobody's watching WrestleMania to be like, "Yo, man, I hope there's some good matches." It's like, "Yo, I mean, I'm a wrestling fan." Hell, some people watch WrestleMania and they're not wrestling fans. They're just like, "Yo, wrestling's a cool thing, isn't it?" Like, and they aren't gonna watch AEW, but like, I don't know, bro. My blood is still in my quads. My brain blood is still in my legs from all those squats. Why did I write that? Why did I? Okay, hold on. I'm crossing that off the list. We're not doing that ever again. We're not doing that ever again. I'm never doing 100 squats in the middle of a show again. This was an awful idea. I completely regret this. Also, I went running this morning, like I mentioned. I'm crossing it out. I'm crossing it out. Y'all can't even see that. But I crossed it out. We're not doing that ever again. The content is suffering now. Okay, so AEW. I tweeted out on Wednesday night. I said my favorite thing about AEW is how every fan has an endless list of people who they want to see as TNT champion. Why can't I talk right now? Okay. Everyone has an endless list of people they want to see as TNT champion. TNT champion in AEW. For those of you who do not know, in wrestling, in companies, there's a world title, which is the top title. There's the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. The TNT Championship is the mid-card championship. It is the championship that is usually used to promote and like kind of trial and test out people who could be potentially a world champion, but they aren't quite there yet. Think of it like this. Being the TNT champion is like your audition to be the world champion. When you hold the TNT championship, the mid-card championship, you are showing how good you are. You are showing how you carry yourself as a champion, and that is to show where your role in the company could be. Are you going to stay in the mid-card and help other guys because you were doing a very good job of, just holding down the division? Or are you showing so much promise that you have the potential to be the top guy in the company and hold the world title? That's basically what it is. And a lot of people have a list of great candidates because AEW has a huge roster of great wrestlers that they want to see as TNT champion. And none of them have ever been Sammy Guevara. And I went on to say, why did that belt turn from a credible singles championship to Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, trying to make us care about guys who nobody asks for? And I even like Scorpio Sky, the current champion. I like him. I think he's great. However, I don't know that he's the best guy to be holding that championship when you have Keith Lee, Andrade, Daniel Garcia, Malachi Black. I misspelled Malachi, I'm sorry. Lee Moriarty, Brian Cage, who has not done anything in AEW aside from when he debuted, and they just kind of used him to get over Team Taz. But he did sign like a 2-year contract recently, so he's not going anywhere. They're going to do something with him eventually, I think. I don't know. But you got him. You got Christopher Daniels, a legend in the industry, one of the best wrestlers of all time. Up there with like AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, Daniel Bryan, you name it. Eddie Kingston, Lance Archer, MJF, Pentagon, Phoenix, Hobbs, Pac, Ricky Starks, Swerve, Wardlow, Orange Cassidy, Dante Martin, Jungle Boy. A whole ton of guys who people want to see get the opportunity to prove themselves as a viable top guy. And none of them are getting the opportunity because we're busy having these dudes who nobody cares about. Like, I'm sorry, like, I like Scorpio Sky, but you can't basically take him off TV, put him in a supporting role to his manager. I can't even remember his name right now. Bro, the squat's got me fucked up. But he's in a supporting role to his manager, next to Ethan Page, who could also be a great candidate for the TNT Championship, but they haven't done anything to... You have not given me a reason to believe that they are viable. Like, they have not done anything to show their worth in a way that shows them deserving to be TNT champion. Alright, this is gonna just be the rest of the show. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just gonna be tripping over my words, catching my breath the whole time. I'm sorry. That being said, let's look at the TNT Championship history. Cody Rhodes, as much as I don't like him, and I've had criticism, hell, we'll get to that in a later episode when I talk about wrestling again. As much as I don't like Cody Rhodes, I acknowledge he's a pillar of the company, or was when he was still of the company. He's a founding member of the company. He has a lot of credibility. As much as I don't really like some of the stuff he did as TNT champion, I can't deny he had a lot of credibility. Mr. Brody Lee. One of the best wrestlers to ever not win a world championship in a major company. And Brody Lee, he came from WWE. He was in WWE. He was a mid-carder. He showed a lot of promise. People loved him. The audience loved him. But Vince McMahon, the owner of WWE, did not. He did not see much potential in Brody Lee. And they ended up parting ways. Brody Lee left WWE to go to AEW under not the best circumstances, but once he was in AEW, he was able to show how great he was. He was able to show that he is a top level competitor, a guy who deserves to be world champion, a guy who deserves to be the face of a company. But unfortunately, shortly after his reign as TNT champion ended, he was very sick, and he unfortunately passed away. He unfortunately became very ill and didn't make it, and the belt went back to Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes, now, and the thing is as unfortunate as it is that Brody Lee died, especially since he never got to do a lot of the things in his career that he wanted to do. He wanted to go to Japan. Unfortunately, because of COVID, he didn't get the opportunity before he died. And that's a goddamn shame, because he would have been amazing there. He deserved a world title in his career. But after he died, it was made very clear, like, his reign as TNT champion cemented the legacy of this belt. Like, this is now a belt that shows that people are like, it's immortalized as a very important and prestigious belt because of how good he was, and the fact that we all know he would have gone on to be a world champion had he had the opportunity and had he had the time. So that added a level of prestige to the belt. And then moving on to Darby Allin, who is a pillar of the future of AEW. He is a guy who they have invested a lot in. He has his own demons and his own whatever, but he has proven to be like a very popular, a very capable wrestler, and someone who will also be a world champion one day. Then we get to Miro. Miro, who is one of my favorite wrestlers. And the fact that he's one of my favorite wrestlers is not informing my analysis that he elevated the TNT Championship to a world title level belt. It was the biggest championship in the company when he held it. It was one of the most prestigious championships. And he was on a reign of terror. He was destroying even the most capable competitors. he was on a roll. 140 days of total domination. So you might be asking, Tom, 140 days, he lost the championship on September 29th of 2021. Who did he lose it to? Who had the privilege of ending this legendary reign? It was none other than Sammy Guevara. Is Sammy Guevara good in the ring? Sure. Is Sammy Guevara very good at getting a reaction out of the audience? Sure. Is Sammy Guevara good enough to have ended Miro's reign over the many people who Miro beat? People like Eddie Kingston, which I was in the arena when Miro defended against Eddie Kingston. The crowd was behind Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston could have won it that night, and everyone would have been like, yeah, that makes total sense. But he didn't, because Miro was that caliber of a champion. And on just a weekly show, on the September 29th, 2021 edition of AEW Dynamite, Sammy Guevara beat him. He just beat him. Now, I was like, okay, clearly, this is just temporary. They're going to have Sammy Guevara lose it to someone, and he lost it to Cody Rhodes. Someone who, okay, sure. Cody Rhodes, who was losing the crowd at this point. He was very, very much, he had lost the crowd. And again, I'll go into Cody on another occasion, but at this point, I don't know if this version of Cody Rhodes was really the guy to put the belt on, but I was like, okay, whatever, Sammy Guevara, he's shown, I don't know if he's ready for that, But of course, also, another point, when Sammy Guevara won it, he won it in Rochester, New York. The hometown of Mr. Brody Lee. The man whose untimely, unfortunate death did ultimately cement the credibility of the championship, and it was made very apparent like Sammy, for some reason, was being billed as a babyface at this point, despite the fact that he's very good at making people hate him. Just look at his face. That's a very punchable face. They were making a point to be like, yeah, he won this belt to pay homage to Mr. Brody Lee, which we'll get back to that. And of course, Cody won it, and it was like, okay, at least it's on Sammy. Oh, but Sammy won it right back. And then Sammy would lose it to Scorpio Sky. And now we're in this program where it's like, okay, I've explained, do we really care about Scorpio Sky? Do we really care about Sammy Guevara? Are they really the best candidates to be holding this championship? And the answer to all of those questions is no. And then we end up in this place where, Sammy's entire reign was based on this idea that, okay, he's paying homage to his dead friend, which I'm not even sure what the relationship between him and Brody Lee was, but I'm not going to speculate. It's not my business, but that does make this segment feel a little strange, where, Sammy was in the ring with his real-life girlfriend, Ty Conti, and, who's also a wrestler, and they're feuding with American Top Team, with Dan Lambert and his stable, since Scorpio Sky won the belt, and there's also this weird thing where there was, an interim championship that, Sammy won, and then, defended against Cody, so he had 2 belts, and then now there's 2 belts, and it's weird. It's convoluted, it's kind of dumb, but whatever. And this happened.
We won't stay at the top of the combat sports mountain looking backwards at the bodies we've buried. So unless you guys have any interest in giving them what they're asking for...
I don't know why it's so quiet. Okay, so they're not going to rematch.
That question. You guys can kiss that match goodbye.
Okay, this is where it gets weird. Pay close attention here. Again, remember, this belt Sammy was carrying to commemorate this legend in the business who unfortunately died, and he was using this reign to supposedly in storyline honor this friend. Just keep that in mind as you watch this.
Dan, hey Dan. I know we've been living rent-free in your head since you got here. But if you only knew what Ty and I did while wearing that belt, then you know we now live in your mouth too.
To honor his dead friend. In fact, Eddie Kingston, the legend Eddie Kingston, had something to say. So, a championship that is supposed to represent a lost friend. AEW, what are we doing here? What are we doing? You did such a good job of building up the TNT Championship as a credible belt. You did such a great job of adding legitimacy to it. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You got a stacked roster right now. You got a ton of people who you could easily put that belt on and everyone would be like, yeah, that makes total sense. What is this? What are we doing here? Anyways, I think it's time to move on to the next segment, and we're going to stay controversial. So, recently in the news, there's been a lot of controversy around this woman who is pictured next to me, Leah Thomas. Wait, is it Leah Thomas or Leah Thompson? I don't even know. Leah Thomas, who won the NCAA Women's Swimming Championship gold medal. And I'm surprised because I didn't know so many people cared about women's swimming. People are so invested in this. People are so invested in women's swimming all of a sudden. I don't know what happened. Like, apparently everyone's just been obsessed with this and been so invested. And I just had no idea. Because people are very upset about the fact that Leah Thomas, who is a male-to-female trans woman, won this race against a bunch of cis women. And I just want to take this moment to talk about trans people in sports. Because there are a lot of misconceptions. Because here's the thing. The talking point is always like, it is unfair for a man to transition into a woman to compete in sports, or compete really in anything, apparently, against women. And my question is why? Now, I'm just going to throw it out here. My general feeling on gender and sports is just everything should be co-ed. Because listen, I'm 5'7". I've played sports my entire life, and I've been smaller. I've always been smaller than other men my age, usually. I mean, now I'm yoked, bro. I'm fucking big and strong. But I wasn't always. I would still play sports. I would still wrestle. I would still play baseball. I would still do all these things. I wasn't the most athletic either. I've always been at a disadvantage. And I'm gonna be honest. If I were to decide, not even decide, but if I were to find it in myself that I actually identified as a woman, and I start transitioning into a woman, and I went through HRT, which, anatomically has limits as far as how it can change the body. It has limitations. It can still do a lot, but it does have limitations as far as, the organs in your body. But biologically, we talk about trans women and say they're biologically male, but in reality, they are not. In reality, HRT does actually biologically change your gender, or at least like what we perceive as gender. Your testosterone and your estrogen, it completely changes. And I'm confident in saying that if I as a man who is, very strong now, if I were to start taking testosterone blockers and start taking estrogen, undergoing HRT to transition into a woman, and I start competing in sports against cis women, I think I would get fucking destroyed. Like, I'm just gonna be real. I would not. And here's the thing too, the thing about Leah Thomas, a big talking point that people are using is the fact that she was ranked, like, when she was like last season or whatever, when she was competing against men, she was ranked like 400 something. The thing is, she had already started undergoing HRT at this point. And before when she was not undergoing HRT, when she was still biologically male, she was in the top 10. So that kind of goes to show, like, okay, people are using this fact that, like, oh, she was ranked, like, among the men, like, this low, and it's like, yeah, because she was on HRT. If anything, that goes to show how much transitioning into a woman can actually impact your performance, because the only real factor in like athletic performance between men and women that actually makes a difference is testosterone. And listen, if you are at the NCAA level, if you're on an Olympic level, guess what? It doesn't matter what your gender is. You're probably on HRT to not transition into a different gender, but to actually change your hormonal makeup to give you an unfair advantage. TRT is a thing. A lot of the thing about the Olympics and the thing about a lot of these things, these international competitions, they are ultimately a competition of who can dope without getting caught. And guess what? If you're on HRT to transition into a woman, you're basically fucked, because you cannot undergo like the TRT. Like your hormonal treatments are already going in one direction. You can't start doing TRT, because that's gonna fuck up your transition. You know, so it's like, if anything, you're at a disadvantage there too. Anyways, what else did I put down for this? I have a few other talking points. Another thing, it's like, I just don't really give a fuck. Like, okay, like, this is kind of a slippery slope. If we're gonna be like, okay, if you know, let's say, okay, yeah, your estrogen is different, your whatever is different, but you still got like big hands, you still got, what is my necklace doing? You still got like larger lungs or whatever, the things that they say, like, okay, but like, Michael Phelps has unnaturally long arms. This man looks like a freak. Are we gonna look at Michael? Are we gonna look at Michael Phelps and be like, "Yo, listen, your arms are too long. You have an unfair advantage, an unfair biological advantage. You can't compete." Like, homie, I've been in sports my whole life where I'm shorter and I'm usually weaker than the competition. I still compete. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. But guess what? It doesn't fucking matter, bro. You shouldn't be making excuses. And a lot of people who are upset about this are not even athletes. I've seen people on my Facebook who I went to high school with who are like, listen, I did college sports. That's not the NCAA. That's not the Olympics. And they tried to be like, oh, y'all played high school sports, so you think you know what it's like. You've never played. I'm like, motherfucker, bro, shut the fuck up. Just admit you're transphobic. Like, here's the thing. Here's the ultimate thing. Let's call a spade for a minute. I'm tired of pretending like it's just not transphobia. Like, let's be honest. That's what it is at the end of, like, stop trying to justify it. And also, like, the fact of the matter is like, motherfucking TERFs and shit are always like, yo, all these trans women are coming into these areas. Like, bro, they got mad that a trans woman was like the first woman who did well on Jeopardy or whatever the fuck it was. What the fuck does that have to do with having a Y chromosome? Are you saying that men are naturally smarter? That's not even like what are you trying to argue here? Like, it's literally just internalized misogyny, being like, bro, men are superior and they're transitioning into women to dominate every field that women are in, bro. Like, we're about to be like, yo, top 100 CEOs are women, but they're all trans women. That's like men invading female. Like, bro, what the fuck are we even talking about? Like, that's the direction we're going in. And again, no one said anything about Michael Phelps. Nobody says anything about Ray Williams, who is just naturally incredibly strong. No one has said anything about, like, Ed Cohen, when he was breaking powerlifting records, and he had fucking leverages to deadlift an insane amount. Like, he had those fucking short legs. And yo, Corey Champion 31, rating from Party 4, thank you so much, and thank you, Esmer CC Live. Thank you so much. We're talking about trans women in sports. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming in here. But yeah, I'm just saying, bro, like, listen. Nobody talked about Michael Phelps having long arms and saying he had an unfair biological advantage then. Like, no one said anything about Ed Cohen having unique leverages. No one has said anything about Eddie Hall competing in strongman when he has the Viking genetics that give him an unfair advantage. The fucking Hercules sheen that, like, makes you naturally stronger. Like, nobody's talking about that, but suddenly it's like a trans woman who was a man who has undergone chemical treatment to biologically, like, physically transition into a woman, and is ultimately, like, that puts you at more of a disadvantage than an advantage against cis women, because I'm gonna be, like, let's be real, let's be objective here. A cis woman is probably going to have more testosterone than a trans woman. So ultimately, let's stop trying to break down how it's unfair. And if you really have an issue, just call a spade a spade. Like, honestly, I wish people would just say what they mean. Just say you're transphobic. Like, people always want to dance around like fucking what's his face? The guy we talked about last week, the small face guy. Fucking Charlie Kirk. On the Super Bowl, he did that tweet where he was like, "Oh my god, the halftime show, it's so explicit, it's so degenerate." And it's like, homie, just say you don't like black people. Just say it, the halftime show had rap music. Like, bro, we know your rhetoric. We know your politics. Just say that's what it is. Anyways, alright, I think we're about done with that. I'm going to message Sky and see if he's ready to come on. But first, a message from our sponsor.
¿Es la influencia una amenaza para mí y mi familia? ¿Cuáles son los síntomas? ¿Cómo hacer para evitarla? Si me enfermo, ¿qué debo hacer para no contagiar a otros? La respuesta a todas estas preguntas y más las tiene Doctor Amigo. Visítanos e infórmate cómo juntos podemos detener esta epidemia.
Yeah, it was good.
Hey yo.
What's
Oh
hello?
fuck, where's my questions?
Hmm?
I had to find my questions.
Oh.
Oh, it's right here. Okay.
I had a couple. Like how are you? How have you been?
I'm pretty good. Alright, you going on cam or what?
I'm gonna stay off cam because I am physically exhausted, you
Ooh,
know?
Hollywood Sky over here, no camming.
Mm-mm.
Hollywood Sky. Alright, so first off, we have to talk about something important.
Yeah, what's wrong?
Also, are you quiet on... Can y'all hear him? People in the chat, can y'all hear him?
Hello? Hello?
I think you're probably good. I'm gonna turn you up a little
I'm
bit.
so fresh you could suck my nuts.
Alright,
I'm so fresh.
Russia's actions are more than justified as the nationhood of Ukraine is not legitimate. Let's blow Brandon. Why did you tweet that?
What?
Why is this on your Twitter?
wait. Whoa. I don't know. Somebody probably got in there, but it definitely wasn't me. That sounds like that. I don't even know what half the stuff you just said was.
Why'd you say hashtag let's blow Brandon? What does that mean?
Let's blow brand. Oh my god, that's it. Ew. That whole saying is so stupid. Just because they could get away with that on TV. Like, oh, let's go, Brandon. I'm like, it's kind of weird. It's just weird. That's very strange.
Yeah, why'd you tweet that?
I didn't tweet that.
I don't know.
Fake news.
That's what my notes
You gotta
say.
throw up the. You better throw up the Photoshop because I did
mean,
not put the time
Listen,
in.
bro, that's just what my notes say.
Not putting the time in for that. I tried not to tweet about political stuff in general. I mainly talk about video games because I truly am not informed enough to comment on anything. Like, I don't really have a commentary on anything because, like, what am I gonna say? I'm gonna say something that someone regurgitated on Twitter or something I saw on the news, which I never watched because, oh my god.
Wait, I just realized I need to tweet out that you're on here.
Yeah, please. I gotta go ahead and throw it up.
Bro, okay, so I have a wheel that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And the wheel has like certain things that like it has numbers 1 through 20. It has certain things I need to do if it lands on a number.
Mm-hmm.
And today it landed on do 100 squats.
Oh my god.
And I'm still recovering from that from earlier in the stream.
You had to do that earlier?
Yeah, I was that was not a good idea to put on there.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. Oh my lord. What the hell is this photo you chose?
For what?
Oh my god, the photo that you know what's funny? I have a couple photos like this. Like, people can make a compilation of all the photos on other people's phones of me just holding a drink looking hammered.
Getting
Like,
that
I've
tall boy.
seen
I don't think you were even hammered.
No, we were getting them. I think he just caught me mid blink.
That was the pre-hammering.
I was also like really chunky in that photo. Like this was like, just got out of a long-term relationship. I was like, you know what? I'm about to eat everything.
It was
That's what I
Fat Boy
did.
Summer.
It was, and we got hit combo with COVID. There was nothing to do but drink and eat and oof.
Yo, speaking of eating and drinking, I think it's time for us to let the world know, because I've referenced something that nobody knows what it means. And that is the TGI Friday hairline.
The what?
The TGI Friday hairline. You don't remember this?
I might remember this. You got to jog my memory.
Okay, so we were in the TGI Fridays, I believe in Penn Station.
Oh my god, I have vivid memories of all of you making fun of me because I got boneless wings. Like relentlessly. Like y'all were clowning me because I got boneless wings. Like, oh, look at that chicken nugget boy. And y'all thought y'all were so funny. I was just trying to eat, baby.
Bruh, listen. But do you not remember the hairline?
Hairline. No, describe be the hairline.
All right, so I believe it was
For the context of the chat too. You should probably let them know.
I believe it was me, you, Slice, and Bonnie. I think Kevin had ran off to get to a panel or something.
Sounds like something Kevin would do.
And I remember I looked over because like I was facing one way and then you guys were like on the other side of the table. I looked over and there was a man, and his hairline was just absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my god, I remember. Oh my god, we thought he was like in cosplay. That shit was out of this
It was
world.
It was
Oh my
the
God.
sharpest line you've ever seen across a man's head.
Crystal clear. Like it was he could do math off that shit. It was wow.
It was not natural.
Mm-mm.
That was not a natty hairline. And I remember especially because like I pointed it out to you, and you were like, "Oh my god!" And then we pointed it out to Slice, and he like did a double take where he was like he like wrenched his neck all the way back to be like, "Holy shit! What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, no, that I remember was breaking a lot of necks in the TGI Fridays.
Was it you
That was
who
a
was
good.
like gonna go up and be like, "Hey man, nice hair"?
No. Oh my god. I probably honestly back then that sounds like something I would have done. Ew, I would never do that. I would never go up to someone and
I mean, listen, he probably paid. Actually, no, he probably didn't pay that much money for that. Let's be honest.
But that I was like, yo, that's fierce. That's one thing, dude. Comic-Con, I miss a lot. Just the whole COVID thing happened, and there was one last year, but it was kind of weird. That
No,
actually brought Omicron into New York. Actually, no, it was Anime NYC. That was a big thing.
Comic Con, more like Omnicron.
It was wild.
And
I remember getting the text like you've been in contact with someone who went to this. I'm like, god damn it.
Yeah, my guest last week said that he was there, and he said that 3 weeks later he got that text, and he was like, "I think it's a little late."
For real, I have had that happen to me too. Like I've traveled to Minnesota, and I got texts from there all the time about getting COVID. I'm like, yo, I haven't been there in months. What are you talking about? Leave me alone. Like I haven't traveled through your pathways at all.
Yo, listen, you were in contact with COVID 2 years ago. You might have it.
Yeah, just on the off chance. Throughout this whole thing, thank goodness I didn't get it. I would hate to get it at like the ass end of this. That would like blow.
True.
That would be so bad.
I feel like I'm one of the few people who has not gotten it, but I also don't leave my house that often.
You know, I was definitely outside way more than I should have been, truly, during this whole thing. I would say New York City had this mystique about it. Like I've never seen the city streets so empty. Like you could hear the sounds of something that happened 5 blocks away, like bounce off of the reflections of the windows and shit, and just go down the paths. And it was the creepiest thing. You never get that. Remember, so scary.
It was just the inside out.
Yeah, it was just empty. I'm like, there's never in my life seen 42nd Street, Times Square this empty.
I can't even imagine that. I remember my friend in New York, like I saw a picture of Times Square completely empty, and I sent it to him, and he was like, "Nah, that's not real." I'm like, "Bruh, it's real."
Hmm.
Okay, I haven't introduced you. How would you describe yourself online to anyone who is seeing you for the first time?
I don't know. I really just like talking about stuff I like. I think I'm at the point. I'm at that point now where I like talk about Nintendo and Kingdom Hearts and like Pokemon and stuff. Like those are my favorite things. So yeah, sometimes I tweet about things. Sometimes I make skits on like TikTok or make a long video essay on YouTube when I feel like getting it together. But I'm a little all over the place, I guess. Oh, and I stream. So yeah, content creator stuff.
You're one of 3 Twitch partners that we're having on this season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
or at least confirmed so far.
Twitch partnership, man, it's come such a long way. I remember I got it in 2015. Oh my God, where's the time gone?
Hollywood,
7 years ago. seven
Hollywood, my
years
man.
ago.
And I'm over here denying affiliate because I'm like, bro, that's not even gonna be worth it right now.
No, I totally get it. Wanting to go straight for a partner, like that's valid.
I mean, my main thing is like, I don't want people to have to like watch ads right before and be like, actually, never
Hmm.
mind.
And the thing about that is like Twitch ads don't even pay out basically anything. Like it's microscopic. Like whatever you're gonna get is gonna come through um like viewer support. They're gonna subscribe or resubscribe or donate or whatever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like my friend Milky Puff, she was like, yeah, I think that the affiliate requirements are so low purely just so Twitch can be like, all right, we're just gonna get as much as we can out of people.
Mhm.
Like, just have a bunch of people that they don't have to pay out, but they're gonna make money off of.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Like Twitch's whole ecosystem, like the payout for partners and affiliates, I think are the same. Is it's 50%. So like every sub, it's $5, you only get 250, and that adds up. Like I'm like, yo, 50%, Jesus. Like can we
Yeah,
get like 80 or like 70 at least? Like 50, Jesus Christ.
I think it's a little bit different if you get like a partner contract.
If you may there's like a certain criteria if you reach. I'm not sure the exact specifics, but I've heard like the rumored number is if you have like 1,000 non-gifted subscribers, like people who are subscribed annually, they will give you a better cut. But that's, oh my God, that's crazy to have 1,000 people do that. That's you probably get a better cut because your numbers are probably insane for that.
Yo, out of curiosity, what is like your peak monthly subscribers that you've had?
um the most I've had, because the way I know is through like they have emote slots. Like you get rewarded if you have this many subs. So the most I've had was 1,100.
Not bad.
Um, yeah, that was like whoa. I'll never get that close again. That shit was I was wild. I don't even remember what the circumstances were, but I do remember that number
Yeah.
vividly.
What I think is crazy is like I'm figuring out over time, especially like over last year, I've just realized like wow, like getting views on Twitch is not easy.
Mm-mm. It's more Twitch is more for the community aspect. Like this is where you hang out when you have your following, And
Yeah.
it's not really a place to grow. It's not like a place to build new relationships with. It's more so, the chill spot, the hangout, the let's go grab a beer after that video I just watched, or that, that's
Yeah.
what Twitch is. So
But it's kind of crazy when you think like, okay, like I mean my social media in general does not transfer well in the sense that like, okay, I'm on a channel with 1 million subscribers.
hmm
And then I have like 2,000 Twitter followers and like my YouTube my own YouTube channels are kind of low too. So it's
hmm
like you you break that down and that's like trying to get people to watch on Twitch. I mean, we have free viewers right now. We had 5 a second ago. Like
hmm
that's pretty good for me right now.
for sure.
But that's like crazy how that like breaks down like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, all these platforms have their own meta, and it's just hard to keep track of every little change that one platform does. Like what works on TikTok doesn't work on YouTube or Twitch or whatever other platform, Facebook, yada yada. Um,
Yeah, that's something I've heard about TikTok. Is like, obviously, like TikTok is really weird with their algorithm, where you can just upload some bullshit and that'll be like, oh, you got 50,000 views, and you're like, what?
mhm.
But then like that doesn't really transfer,
Right,
or at least that's what I've been
but
told. Like I've heard people be like, yeah, I got like a ton of followers on TikTok and a bunch of like views and stuff, and then I started like a Twitch or a YouTube, and it's just like it feels like I'm starting over again.
mhm. I don't know. I think with like the platforms to grow have been TikTok and YouTube. Um, Everywhere else has been about fostering a community like Twitter or Twitch. But no, I get it. Well, like that's why people who are considered like the best streamers are completely different than the best YouTubers. Those are they play by their a completely separate set of rules.
Yeah. But also like Twitch is at the point where it's like the way to get big on Twitch is get big somewhere else.
Hmm. Yes, yeah, that's exactly it. And I don't know how sustainable that's going to be for them, especially when some of their bigger streamers are like being bought out all the time. So who knows? But
Yeah. Like
personally, that's I
Ludwig
think
is
that's.
blowing up on YouTube now.
Mhm. I think the big thing is like that's unfathomable numbers. Like I will never get a grasp of. Like imagine like having 1,000 monthly subscribers. Like that's something that just people do, or even beyond that. A
Yeah.
thousand might be low for them. But like, oh my god, I stream because it's just fun to talk to my people. I get to geek out about things I like, and
Yeah.
like I don't care about the. I'm not gonna say I don't care about the money because that's not true. That's not true. I wouldn't be able to do it as much if there was no pay. You feel me? Like just
Right.
I'm an adult.
We gotta
Shit
eat.
has to be paid. Yeah, for sure. Um. So, but other instances where I'm like, okay, I want to just talk about this or that. It's nice to have that there. Just people that would listen to my whatever the nonsense. So.
I think I bro, honestly, I feel like streaming on Twitch has made me better on camera in general. Like
Oh yeah.
1000%.
Because it's not as simple as just turning a camera on and playing a game. Like you have to put on the whole shebang.
Yeah. And especially
Mhm.
I feel like with gaming on Twitch, like you either have to have a audience like you had where it's like in some way related to gaming, or you have to be ridiculously good at a game. And
Mhm.
I had neither of those things. And I started trying to play games, and I was like, nobody wants to watch me play games. So now I'm doing
Mhm.
this kind of stuff, and it's like people actually started watching.
Mhm. I mean, hey, that's the cool thing about Twitch too. Like, it doesn't have to be a gaming platform. Like, the variety section is the biggest one
Yeah.
on the platform where people like cook. There was the whole hot tub stream meta. Like, there's always some new stuff on there. So yeah, like I mean, if you get online with this and it's something you like, then you know,
Is that
and if they like
something?
it.
Is that something that you want to move your channel towards? Like, because you've always been like kind of a gaming Twitch streamer. Like,
I mean, I don't really have truly. I don't have, I guess, as interesting opinions about things outside of gaming. Like I could talk about tech, I could talk about this, I could talk about that, but um, sometimes I just get on there and just talk about, oh, I played this game. This is my thoughts, or I'm about to play this. Who's what the whatever. Um, so I don't think I would ever want to go out the gaming space. I love vlogging, traveling's fun,
hmm
but like for
have you ever done IRL
um,
streaming?
that scares me. Right? Like truly, I that's too much. That's too much. Like I have a fear. Like I want to do it. I thought about it conceptually. I'm like, oh, I love playing Pokemon Go. I love being outside. I'm just scared someone's gonna pull up on me because they have my stream up and they're gonna be able to pinpoint exactly where I am in New York City and just bang. Literal fear I have.
Yeah, there. I feel like IRL streaming is popular in other countries for a good reason. Because in America, it's like you're either in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing to stream, or it's like you're in a big city and motherfuckers are gonna go crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not the most ideal situation, truly. But no, I don't think I'd ever want to do that. Oh my god, I'll never forget. E3 a couple years ago at the Twitch booth, they had this demo backpack. It was like basically a backpack that you could use to stream. They have a camera. They have a Twitch thing. It's a really big backpack. It was kind of heavy. You carry it around, but you can interact with your stream, whatever. That backpack was around $2,000. I found that out and I immediately took it off my bag and put it on the ground. I was like, I know I want nothing to do with this. If I drop break that shit, I'm Twitch about to kick me off everything. So no.
What are some of your we've gone to a lot of cons together. What is one of your craziest con memories that comes to mind?
One in particular, it was a PAX East. It was I don't remember what year it was, but I recently turned 21 and I got invited to a lot of the after parties now because I was able to go. And I don't remember who it was. It was either, it was one of those like tech companies and they were throwing a banger at a club and whatever. And we got invited. It was me and HMK. We got invited and it was open bar. I just turned 21 and we went ape shit. And we thought the open bar was only for an hour because that's how it was described in the invitation. They're like, come for the first hour, it's open bar. And that seems fair. We're like, all right, no problem. So we drank because we didn't want to pay anymore. But when the hour was up, they went on the loudspeaker like everybody got the open bar. If you want to keep drinking, you can head upstairs. The open bar is up there too. And I was like, oh my god. We hung out in the club for a bit. I remember HMK at this time. He told me he was considering proposing to his girlfriend, which is now his fiance. Funny enough, and I remember I was like hysterical. I was like, oh my god, that's so great. And then I blacked out. And HMK describes the story as I went downstairs to go dance, and both of our phones were dying, and he had to basically drag me out of the club into our hotel room. He threw me onto the bed. I bounced off the bed onto the hotel room floor in between that crack and the wall in the bed. I kind of like swam there for a little bit because I couldn't get up. And I don't remember any of this. This is all I trust that he's telling the truth because that sounds like something I would do. But I'm excited going to PAX East this year. We'll see what happens. It's always fun.
You trying to go to MomoCon?
I definitely want to, but I don't has anyone made any moves? Like I don't know. Has anyone been talking about MomoCon?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
Kevin said we're going, but I have not talked to him about it in a hot minute. So I have no idea what's going on. I'm assuming we're going.
Yeah, no, I gotta look into that too because that's right around the corner. April's next week. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow. Where's the time going?
Bro, this year has been just like boop. We're here.
Yeah. No, the fact that it's almost a fourth over, or it is a fourth over. It's almost another third over. Oh my god. I can math. That's fine.
Bro, I feel like every year since 2020 has just not happened.
Like it's been a long blip of time.
Like 2021 definitely just feels like 2020 2.0. And we're just in the extension of that now.
I mean, I feel like at least I can only speak for New York City because they recently lifted the mask mandate here. And like everything's kind of back to normal. I don't know. It's a weird feeling. I don't want to say a semblance to normal because, like, a lot of businesses, it's up to their discretion if they want to wear the mask or not.
Right.
Like if they won't, which is cool. But it's
kind
of been universally understood that this is just what it is.
I still wear my mask everywhere, but the fact that I can go places is that's big.
Yeah, no, like eat at a restaurant, go see a movie, go to a museum, like those are things that we took for granted when we were inside for so long, go to a bar, go to a club, go dancing, like just these social things, I love that,
But even then, like, even with like, okay, things are going back to normal, like it's like an existential thing for me to be like, bro, I was like basically still 21 when things started. Now I'm 24. And it just feels like it straight up feels like a time skip. But also I'm like, I don't even know if that's like just me getting older and time passing by quicker, or if that's like genuinely just like COVID time fucking me up.
I think it's just gonna take a bit for us to adjust. Like at least one full year of no COVID bullshit. Like we had to deal with Omicron in January. Think about that. Like it wasn't that long ago. Um, so who knows? And
Yeah.
there's if a new variant starts to come out the shadows, Omicron, Persei 8, whatever the hell they decided to call it, um, it's just hopefully we're a little better prepared.
Yeah. Yo, your story did like remind me of something though. I just remember last time we went to New York Comic Con and we went to an after party and you just straight up like left reality.
Which after party was this?
The one at the bowling alley.
Oh my god, that was so fun. I had such a great time.
It was, but then like I remember at the end the end of the night, they were like, "All right, all y'all motherfuckers gotta get out." Like everybody was drunk. This one kid who was next to us was like, "Yo, where the fuck did my phone go? Where'd my shoes go? Where'd all my shit go?" David lost his shoes, and then there was
I
like
remember.
some random like old guy who was with us that everyone was like, "Yo, I thought you knew him,"
Yeah, no.
and then we were like, "Yo, did that dude just rob everybody?"
Oh my god, I never. He had to go home with the bowling shoes on because they took his kicks.
Yeah. And I remember we were like, "Yo, where's Sky? Where's Sky?" And then like we were just like, "Well, he's gone."
My shit was the whole reason we ended up at that party was because we were going to that yacht party. We were mad hype. We were about to pull up. We
No, that
went
was the
over
next
there.
night.
No, the reason we went to the bowling alley. Oh no, you're right. You're right. Because we were at that one spot with that VIP section. Remember that one spot? We it wasn't a bowling alley though.
I remember a different spot, but I don't remember a VIP section.
That place had like all the food. I remember this bar had like food and it was like a buffet section up in the back. And I was like, oh my God.
I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember that apparently either. You don't remember that? I remember Kevin was there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I remember Kevin was there, and Kevin was like, "Yo, I'm done."
You know, it's so funny. I think about that all the time because I'm not. This is gonna sound really because, like I said, we kind of got through a time skip. Like I don't really drink like I used to. Like
Mhm.
I cut it back a lot. You know, much more chill. So when I totally get the vibe, I wanted to go to bed at a certain time now. Maybe that's me getting old, but you know,
See,
just
I've never had that. I mean, I get that a little bit now, but like even when I didn't drink, I was like, "Bro, I want to go out and have fun. I want to go out and go crazy. Just doing it while sober."
hmm
But the thing
yeah,
is
no,
is
I
like
get that.
all my friends in Michigan, they would be like, "Oh, you're not drinking. You get to babysit." I'm like, "Bro, what the fuck?"
Yeah, no, that's not it.
Yeah, it's like you just killed the vibe. Now I gotta be like responsible and shit.
I think that's one thing is the older you get, that just becomes less acceptable.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be doing this shit to like, you know, you're 28, 29. I'm like, all right, you probably should pack it up,
There's a certain point where you're just like actually an alcoholic.
Yeah, like, all right, you had fun when you were young, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not judging. You can, you know, drink whatever, but um, if you're gonna make it other people's problem, that's the issue.
Right.
Mhm.
Like I don't care if people drink if it's like, okay, we're all on the same vibe, but if it's like, oh, you're gonna be like the person who takes care of everybody, it's like, nah,
Mhm.
I don't want to be responsible. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, no, the whole point of the party is to not worry about other people. Like, just the vibe, have fun, chill.
I mean, I think at this point, I remember you imparted wisdom onto me, and you were like, listen, sometimes you just gotta be like, I'm not gonna be the dad. I'm just gonna let you wake up in a ditch tomorrow.
That's true.
And I think at this point in my life, I'm like, yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do. Like,
Because truly, that's the greatest lesson.
mm-hmm.
Like, but hopefully it doesn't get to that. But this sometimes some people, in order for them to get it, they have to wake up in a ditch. It's just the truth. It's just
That's just what's gotta happen sometimes.
I speak as someone who has woken up in a ditch. Like I've been there. I had a lot of stories where I wake up and I have no idea where I am. Like it's not. It's funny in hindsight, but at the time I'm like, oh my god.
You got any you want to share on stream?
Hmm. Yes. It was a Halloween. This was a Halloween after I graduated college, but I moved back up to my college town because all my friends were still in school, so I wanted to be around them. So I was in the neighborhood, whatever, and it's Halloween, and I dressed as King Mickey, like from Kingdom Hearts, whatever. And I have the Keyblade, and I get blackout drunk. And like I said, I don't really remember the night, but I wake up the next day, and I'm in this dark room, and there's a body next to me, and I'm like, what, where am I? Like, I can't tell. Like, the light, the window is not protruding light because it like faces a brick wall. Like, I don't know where I am. So I look up and I'm like, oh shit, that's my boy. Like, I'm in his room. Like, apparently I just woke up next to him. But the issue was
You were inside him.
during no. Oh my god. Dude, before I went to bed, I peed in his closet. Uh But not only did I pee on his closet, he had a plastic bag full of formal wear on the ground that he recently did laundry for because he needed it for a class or a presentation. Formal clothes.
Hmm.
I pissed directly in that bag,
Damn.
and I had to explain.
Listen.
I no, because they explained to me, like, you peed in this bag. I'm like, I didn't fucking. You're crazy. I didn't. Don't gaslight me.
Is this a podcast? It might as well be. Basically.
So I'm like, okay, what the hell? I'm like, oh no, I had no idea I did that. Like, that's bad. That's bad. And I had to pay. I had to pay for him to get. I paid like $200 for him to get all new formal clothes because I pissed all over them. Oh, and then I projectile vomited all over the bathroom. So, and I had to mop it. So yeah, that's one of my many blackout stories.
And then as you get older, you get to witness other people do that.
Yeah, no, I think you know what it is? I physically can't no more. Like, I drink, like, if I can't drink as much. If I even try attempt it, like, I would, like, if I look at a glass of wine, I'm hungover for 3 weeks, Like, I'm at that point
Right. I mean, I'm
where
kind of glad I had never started drinking because, like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I know I have an addictive personality, and also being part Irish and native, I'm like, bro, I would be an alcoholic.
Mhm.
Like, no doubt. But also,
No, I
like,
get it.
I mean, like, I have not aged aside from my hair falling out since I was like 17, and I feel like part of the reason for that is because I don't drink or do anything.
No, I mean, that's part good. Your body's a temple. You should treat it as such.
Exactly.
But no, I don't. Yeah, I had to stop after a while. It was more so that I was starting to get a gut, and it was starting to bother me. I started to feel lousy, and it costs so much money. Oh my
True.
god, yo! I live in New York City, and an average drink can range from $8 to $15.
Bro, remember
That's
the
one.
boat?
Yeah. Oh my god. They said this is we. They said
Wasn't it like $40?
$30. It was like $35, $40. It was 35 plus tip. I was like,
Yeah,
okay, no problem.
and they added the
Um,
tip on mandatory.
I didn't pay that shit. I put it right back, and
And then we were
I was
like,
like,
all right, we are leaving this boat.
I was like, we gotta get the fuck off this boat right now.
Like, it was about to leave, and you were like, nope, we're going.
I'm like, we need to get off this because we're gonna be stuck out here for 3 hours on a sober booze cruise or go bankrupt. So we gotta get off this boat right now.
Yo, speaking of degeneracy and substance abuse, I saw you
Love
tweeting
that.
about Euphoria.
Yeah,
How
it's
far
my
have you
shit.
gotten?
I'm done. I'm caught up.
I can't find anywhere to watch season 2.
Is it not on HBO?
Listen, I don't have a lot of money.
I mean, you could, irate pay. You feel me? If you really feel that way about it.
I mean,
But
I'm working on that, but I can't find
mhm.
it anywhere. But I did watch season 1, and I want to, like, as someone who has also, I know, has experience with doing that type of stuff. And
Holy shit! What the fuck? Oh my god! What kind of drugs? She's out here. She's out here doing lean, bro. Like, I've never been touching that shit. What are you doing?
listen, I,
Substance abuse.
I've seen you smoke crack a few times.
That's cap. This is not true. That's never happened.
But not like, I mean, like, okay, we both went to high school
Mm-hmm.
and we saw people doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
How accurate do you actually feel like it is?
Like Euphoria as a show.
Yeah, as far as like that aspect of it.
Okay, this is the thing I have as an issue with a lot of I guess TV and media and shit is like I that's a white school. I didn't go to a white school. Like there was no football team, there was no lockers, there was no like my high school experience was very different than the ones they show on TV. So imagining my high school even coming close to what the hell Euphoria is, not even remotely.
I mean,
Not even like oh my
that's something I thought about. I'm like, is that just how schools are in like California? Like, is that what it is?
is that where the show takes place?
I think so.
Hmm. Well, I I love it. Actually the first episode I saw was the one where everyone's like, "Oh, I'm no spoilers," but the one where everyone's like, "Oh, Zendaya's gonna get an Emmy." Like she killed it, and she
Hmm.
absolutely killed it. That was the first episode I saw, because I just happened to be in the room, and I think that's the thing about Euphoria. It's like Game of Thrones in a way that it's a social experience. Like people watch it together, you know.
I mean, I think part of the
Um,
thing is like it does kind of have like a reputation for being like a edgy, like gritty, realistic portrayal of like drugs and addiction, but it's also literally just like another like TV high school drama.
mhm.
And I feel like trying to have both of those things like at the same time kind of like they kind of step over each other.
Sure, I get that. I guess it ultimately comes down to where Rue's character arc is gonna go because addiction is a up and down battle. There's no surefire way. And like the whole premise of the show and season one is like she comes out of rehab and she's like, "Oh, I have no intention of staying clean."
Yeah.
Um, but stuff happens. She,
I mean, that's
like I said,
actually one way that I kind of related in like season one
mhm,
was like seeing Rue have to go to parties and be like, yeah, I'm gonna be sober and just kind of like sitting there like, I don't know what to do.
mhm.
Because like the social script in those situations is like, oh, well, once you partake in whatever's going on, then it's like, A, B, C, D. But like if you're not gonna do the A, then the B, C, D is kind of like, well, shit.
That's the thing that's so ass. I think just about being younger and as a teenager too, because I've also fallen victim to this, and I've also been the one to be like, "Yo, you should drink whatever." Blah, blah. But like, that's one thing I would say the younger generation is probably getting right is the no peer pressure type joint. Like they're like, "Oh,
I mean,
we're not gonna let you."
I feel like it kind of still exists, but it's not the same.
Do you think it's like in a different way? Like, it's
Yeah,
changed.
because like it's not like I don't think anybody these days is gonna be like, oh, you're not gonna drink, you're not gonna smoke, you're not gonna do drugs, like, oh, you're a loser, like you can't hang out with us. But they are gonna be like, oh, it's fine if you don't want to do that, but we're also not gonna like change the fact that that's all that we're gonna be doing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's going to be like the foundation for like all the social, like everything.
Yeah, no, I get that. I've actually had recent experiences like that with my friend group because that's all we do. We go out drinking.
Right.
And this is great because I live in one of the greatest cities in the world. There's 6 billion things to do. We can go see a movie. We can go to a museum. We can go bowling. We can go to a baseball game, basketball game, whatever. Like there's just so many things to do.
Right.
But it's always let's go out and drink. And I'm like like I said, I relate more now to the sentiment that you've been feeling throughout the years because I also don't really like drinking socially anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
so I'm sorry, that's ass
yeah.
because it's happened to me. It's so ass.
Yeah. I mean, part of it is like in like Detroit, I can't really even like be that upset about it because there isn't really much else to do. Like, I get that, like, okay, what are you gonna do other than like go to a club or whatever at night? Because like everything's closed and like that's all there is to do. But like that's part of
Mhm.
why I'm moving to LA potentially this year, or I'm planning to move to LA over the summer, and like try and get like a place for a year or so. Cause like
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea.
Because when I have been in LA, it's like, okay, there's actually shit to do that's not revolving around that. Like, you
Hmm.
can go out at night and there's actually, like, places to go where you don't have to drink.
Yeah, I get it. I just, and I think LA would be better for that too, because the weather's nicer. You know,
Fuck
you
yeah.
could take up a lot more hobbies out there too. And I want to make the trip someday, but now life.
Yeah.
I'll visit. That's for sure. I don't think I'm gonna be living in LA anymore. But
I mean, my plan right now is like I have money saved up. I'm like, okay, I can survive for a year at least, and like we'll
mhm.
see how sustainable it is, and also if I actually want to stay there. And after that, like I'll
Yeah,
figure out what I'm gonna do.
no, I get that. I mean, like, it's and that's a big move. Like, I mean, we
Yeah,
have friends out there. It's just
yeah.
it's a big
Kevin moved
because
out
that's
there.
not your home. Yeah. I can't wait to see his crib and
Mm-hmm.
the cat, and I want to make the trip soon too. I need to get my money up, not my funny up. There's just so many things coming up soon.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's tough out here.
yeah. It's all about the grind. It's all it never is about, really. Oh my god, I was talking about this. Do you have any? Because I try and bring this up to my friends. Do you have any hobbies that aren't monetized?
Weightlifting.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Because I was having a hard time thinking about
I
that too.
think that's it. Also, I guess gaming, because I don't stream games
Mm,
anymore.
okay.
I mean, I try and
Because a lot of people wouldn't say gaming, I would
yeah,
say, but like
like
that's like I said. But I would if you put how much. What have you been playing?
I try and stream games. Like I was streaming Lost Ark for a while, but I feel like trying to play that like seriously and also stream it kind of burnt me out pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
And I started streaming Arceus, but then I ended up just like playing all of it off stream.
The game is fantastic. I don't blame you.
Yeah, like I literally played my first session on stream, and I was like, I'm just gonna grind off stream, and then like I just
Hmm. I think the tech is you need to have a stream game. Like
yeah,
I've been playing Elden Ring, but I haven't been streaming Elden Ring. I've been streaming like Bug Fables or Kingdom Hearts or whatever. Like so, I've been enjoying the game by myself. Like there's certain titles that you can relinquish to with a chat experience, while others are more
Fortnite.
personal, intimate. Yeah, Fortnite's fun in all aspects. I am a stan of that game, and I always will be.
I like playing it, but I'm bad at it.
They removed the building,
Yeah, I saw that.
which is so great because I've already won 3 games this season because these kids can't build 3-star mansions or 5-star mansions in front of me.
I mean, we won like 3 or 4 games when we played.
Yeah,
We were getting carried, but we still won.
we were indeed getting carried. But my ooh, I'd ask this too. Like, how do you find enough time in the day to do what you need to do? Because and the energy. Oh my goodness.
I don't most of the time.
Me either.
I mean, like honestly, like part of the reason I was like, yo, I'm gonna have guests on this season is I only have to plan out like an hour of content.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, like, so with that idea in mind, yeah, I find it a little more comforting that we all go through that together.
Yeah.
Like I don't know anyone really that really got their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all the mid-20s arc is kicking everybody's ass right now because that's just the arc. That's what the arc's supposed to do.
And it's
We're,
also
go- we're
on hard
going,
mode because of COVID.
yeah. Like what?
I mean, honestly, what made me feel better was literally like this morning I woke up at like 5 a.m. and something just possessed me to go through do you know who Hassan is?
Yes.
I'm like a big fan of his, and like I genuinely like look up to him as a role model because like he shares like a lot of my views and stuff, and like I've followed him since he was on the Young Turks, like before he even started streaming. And I was
Mhm.
just something in my brain was like, I'm gonna go through his Instagram and like go way back. And I went back to like when he was my age, and it was like I saw like his posts getting like the same level of interaction. It was like the same type of stuff that I would post. And I'm
Mhm.
just like, damn, bro. Like he's 30 now. It's like if he was doing that shit back when he was my age, then it's like, and also like he was with the Young Turks and stuff back then. So it's like I felt a little bit validated in like where I am now because I'm like, okay, I got time. Like I can actually figure shit out and like potentially move up in between like now and my 30s.
I would say just in general, this everyone kind of goes at their own pace.
Yeah.
Because you know those YouTube channels that literally they're like, oh, I made my channel in July and now it's November and I have 8 million subscribers. Like, what the where, who, how?
Yeah.
Like these things happen all the time. It's just and everybody goes at their own pace and everybody has their moment for different reasons. Like I will never forget, I made like a video like Kingdom Hearts 3 just got announced and I made a compilation of other people's reactions and I got 60,000 views and I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And it wasn't even anything original,
Mm-hmm.
but it got attention to my channel and I just started grinding. I was like, bop, 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 and then yada yada yada. But you know, it all happens at a different point for different people.
Yeah.
So
I think part of the thing that like kind of broke my brain is like I need to like recognize that like even though I am part of like a large channel and I have like that part of like my content and like I have to like consider that and consider the fact that I have a giant platform, I'm still technically like a really small creator,
yeah, no, I get that.
which is like a weird like like thing that is simultaneously happening. Is like on one hand like people view me as like a massive YouTuber because it's like, oh, I'm on a channel of like a million subscribers. I have a bunch of videos that are like over 100K or even close to a million. But then it's also like I stream and we have 5 viewers. I upload a video on my other channel, I get like 100 views. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
I think it's the big thing about that, in my opinion, is these channels can't really connect with you that they can, like on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like they can't build that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I totally get that. Like also every time you make a video it's towards like it's an animation channel and it's catering to that niche.
Right.
So if you're offering them something that's not animation related, as you go from there it becomes tough. So
Yeah.
that's the constant battle creators face is the I have to make content for growth versus the shit I want to actually make.
Yeah.
They sometimes they get along but most of the times they do not.
I mean, that's something that like just within like me, Kevin, and Shane, and everybody at the round table, we've been like for years, and now we're just like kind of starting to figure out a plan to put in place in the future of like how are we going to cover like all the stuff that we're passionate about that isn't just animation, especially since
Yeah,
like
no.
animation is such a niche audience, and it's like we've grown our audience to the point that it is, and it's like how much bigger can it get within like this small community, right? Like after a certain point you have to branch out to like more general stuff, so it's like trying to figure out like how to do that. And it's like not only a thing of like a thing that we want to do, but it's also a thing that's going to eventually and like in the big picture create growth for us overall.
Yeah, I get that.
So it's definitely like a really weird thing to have to kind of wrestle with and be like, okay, like where how do you balance like what people want you to do and what that like what people think they want versus like what people want.
Yeah, no, I never listen to the comments because they will there's just people out there who are like, yeah, I'll watch anything, and that comment's gonna get so
Yeah.
much love, and that shit gaslights the shit out of you because that's just one person.
Yeah.
That's one person, and that's not, and we do that where we encompass our entire audience into like this in this single entity, like chat or the comments, like that is a one single thing, which is not fair to them too.
Yeah. Like
Like
I
the
mean,
video gets 6,000 views and it gets only 60 comments. That's still a lot, but like,
even with this stream and even with like my smaller channels, like if you just looked at the comments, you would think like how are you not like a giant streamer, or how are you not like a giant like YouTuber on your own outside of the roundtable? But it's like you have to remember, like even though like the people who are here are like very passionate about the stuff that I'm making and they greatly support it, and I of course appreciate that, like ultimately that is only like a handful of people. But I mean, at the same time, that is kind of validating because it's like, okay, if I can reach this handful of people, I can, branch out beyond that. But like, especially like with the way that content moves these days, it's hard to figure out how to do that.
Yeah. It's it becomes a point too where Can you always keep up with the constant change? I stopped I kind of did the YouTube thing, and I retired. I'm doing it again a bit, but I still right now I'm just I don't know, figuring it out. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, you got verified.
I did. This is one of those like grass is always greener situations where it's really meaningless.
Yeah.
I say that as with someone with a check mark. I don't know how to it's dumb. It's only egotistical where I'm like, ooh, now my thoughts are a little more validated because I have a little check mark. But that's
I think it probably helps for networking, honestly.
that's 100% true. Like people who see the mark and they're like, ooh, what? That's yeah. But
I mean, I think that's
I don't
mostly
know.
what Twitter following is for. Is just to, like, if you do want to network, like, you gotta have like the numbers to back it up. Because people aren't gonna be like, oh, well, you're big on Twitch, you're big on wherever. They're just gonna be like, oh, damn, this motherfucker only has 20,000 followers. What a fucking loser.
That's the cool thing about Twitch too, I would say, is like you really just get 5 cold-blooded motherfuckers in your chat and you're good. Like you only need 5. Like just people who active or that's it. And then it becomes way easier. It's just it's hard to get that first 5.
Oh, 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like it'll drive you crazy just trying to like talk to nobody, and you just see like the viewer count going like 1, 2, 1.
Yeah, no, I stopped. I haven't looked at a viewer count in years. I have it disabled on my streams for that very reason. Like when I stream, it's only my chat. Like I only see the chat window. I refuse to look at stream stats. Except like sub ones.
I'll usually just turn it off until I see chat start moving, and then I'll turn it on just to like see if I'm keeping people or not.
Yeah, but that becomes tugging.
Yeah,
because then you start to take it personally. Like, oh shit, what did I say? Did I do something wrong to make them click off? When
yeah.
There's like a bajillion reasons they could have just clicked off.
Yeah, it could be like, oh, I need to like go do something, or like I just stopped in to like see what was up. Because like part of it too is like with Twitch, you have to constantly remember it's like this isn't like a YouTube video or something. Like it is like a live format, and our generation is no longer acclimated to watching things live. Like there are definitely people who will sit in your stream from start to finish, but like that's definitely a minority, and most people are just going to stop in.
Exactly. Say hello, maybe throw a gift sub, hang out for a bit. Like my streaming experience typically when I watch at work. When I'm working, I have the TV up with the Twitch stream up.
Yep.
I go to like the person with the lowest amount of views in my follower list, and I have them in the background.
Yeah.
But I don't really comment. Maybe I throw in a Prime because I have it, but I'm a lurker. I'm a hardcore lurker.
I mean, with you, I'll literally just go into your chat and be like, hey, yo, you get no pussy, and then I'll leave.
And it's great, and I love it every time. It's such a blessing. I'm so glad you come into my stream and bless me with that information. So thank you.
Exactly. All right, I think we've been going for about an hour, so I'm gonna wrap things up.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me. I love just shooting the shit with you.
You're always welcome back. But first off, while you're here, before I announce the W of the week, I'm gonna announce the guest for next week. Next week's guest is going to be Tom Holland, everybody.
Holy shit.
Wait, where's the... Tom Holland is going to be on the stream next week. He answered his DMs. It's happening. It's happening, everybody. Alright, thank you, Sky, for coming on.
But yeah, no problem. Oh my god, you have Tom Holland next week.
Yes, Tom Holland is coming on next week. Everybody make sure you come on. Everyone go and check out Sky. Sky, plug your stuff.
Just add SkywardWing. You'll just find me. Just do that, whatever the hell platform. I'm there.
Alright, Sky, thank you so much for coming on, and I'm gonna let you go. Hope you have a good night.
You too. Good night, King.
Alright, see you. Love you.
I'll see you later. Bye.
And one last thing, we have to do a W of the week. the W of the week this week is congratulations, Sarcastic Chorus, friend of the show, who hit 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's a big deal. Y'all should go check out his stuff. He's a great YouTuber. We've had a great show tonight. Thank you, SkywardWing, for coming on. Thank you, Tom Holland, for coming on next week. Of course, you can all follow me on Twitter at TommyPQM. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me here. Check out the Roundtable. Check out Sugma Mail. And that's all I gotta say. Thank you all so much for coming out. I'll see you next week.